Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Hum, a Kansas Hoops podcast via the Field of 68. Bez, we are here to talk about a complete nomination of a national title contender. We'll get to all of that and Kansas's big win over Iowa State right after this. All right, Bez, I just mentioned it. Kansas defeats Iowa State, the number two team in the country, 84-63 inside of Allen Fieldhouse. It was a complete hornet's nest in that building. The fans really brought it. Kansas really brought the intensity, and the 21-point win is Kansas's largest ever against a top five opponent since 1995, and the biggest ever versus a top five opponent in Allen Fieldhouse. Bez, what did we witness 2 days ago in Allen Fieldhouse?
We witnessed a total smackdown, Sam. We witnessed a Iowa State team who had been playing just outstanding basketball to start the season. And, unlike some years past where maybe Iowa State gets out on a good run to start the year, usually their schedule isn't, as tough as Kansas's non-con schedule. Not this year, man. They walked into Purdue, smacked them. So this is a team that was road tested 100%. Now, there's obviously never a test for Allen Fieldhouse. That's its own category, of course. But my point is, I mean, that wasn't, I guess you could say it was kind of a letdown spot by Iowa State, but it really wasn't. I mean, they came in 16-0, just flaming on offense. I mean, they are so good offensively, Sam. And Kansas just shut them down. And then on top of that, they hit shots. Trey White, big first half, like couple of hustle plays, get the crowd going, and then it just kind of rolls and rolls and rolls from there, and Kansas never looked back.
As Sweeney on the preview pod kind of mentioned how, Kansas kind of regressed back to the mean with their defense over the two games against, West Virginia, because West Virginia hit a bunch of crazy shots from three. And then obviously TCU had a pretty good night from three in Allen Fieldhouse as well. TCU was 15-35, West Virginia 11 of 26. And then Kansas holds Iowa State to 9 of 27 from three inside Allen Fieldhouse. And Iowa State is a team that was shooting like 40 something percent from
Right.
three as a team coming in. So I do think it was a little bit of regression back to the mean for Iowa State as well. And, it just happened. Uh, Everything seemed to go wrong for Iowa State in this game. And even whenever, they come out of the second half, have that run, and I believe it was an 11-point game at one point. Kansas responds, boom, 10-0 run. Game was right back to 20 points. And really, the whole entire time, Iowa State never had a chance.
hmm hmm I mean, you mentioned the 3-point shooting, Sam. They never had an open look. And even when they did have open looks, mostly in the first half when the defense was still hopping in energy and the place was on fire, but their open looks were 3, 4 feet behind the 3-point line. They couldn't get anything at the line that, I mean, Momcilovic hit a couple that were just, special shot making shots where he's 26, 27 feet out, fading a little bit. Like that was the only chance they had to get one off was, and he had to shoot those shots because they could not find anything else. Jefferson wasn't as dominant as he's been to start the season. I mean, Lipsy had a very poor game getting to the rim. I mean, just some of the worst at the rim attempts I've seen in a while. But I mean, Melvin was hounding him like that poor guy. I mean, Melvin was chasing him around everywhere. Like Lipsy couldn't make a shot. Jefferson couldn't get one to go. Momcilovic just chucking stuff from 28 feet away, praying it goes in. And that was kind of the best offense they had. I mean, that's one of the 5, 10 best offensive teams in the country, hands down. Kansas made them look like they hadn't practiced in 2 weeks. Like that first half defense is what I thought this team could be defensively all year. Everybody's healthy. The rotation is pretty set, not this is not what you're going to see every game, but the idea of it is pretty set in stone. And man, they guarded. And I think, part of that regression of the mean is getting Darren back. And it's not so much that he's a bad on-ball defender. Like we know he's not. But, the rotational and help side stuff, it takes a game or two to get when you're inserting a guy in from going 0 minutes to 35 minutes. Hey, you got to find the niches of when to talk, when to switch, when to drop, when to ice. All of that changes personnel wise versus who's on the floor. So now that they've had a couple games of Peterson at almost full strength, playing 30 minutes a game, now it's finally starting to, oh, okay, now he's integrated into the team defense aspect of this, which is very, very positive to see.
I don't know if you remember when Jefferson had that post up and Peterson just kept,
Mhm.
putting his arm there, causing just a little bit and really he kind of just blew that entire play up. And we've heard, about Darren Peterson being an elite defender, and now we're kind of starting to see it as his legs get under him. And we'll kind of talk about that here later because Darren did talk to the media for the first time, but. The defense, Bez, I mean, you hit it on the head. If you look at Kansas's best, defensive efficiency performances of the season, this one with Iowa State is right up there with some of their best. It's not their best. I think it's fifth best, but it is right there with Green Bay, Syracuse, Missouri, Towson, Davidson. Like it's right there with those
Iowa
numbers. And
State.
and and yeah, Iowa State is the team that Kansas just did it to. And kind of what I saw is, playing a lot of Kansas definitely didn't switch as much, first of
Correct.
all.
Correct.
They played a lot of drop on like pretty much everybody besides
Mhm.
Milan.
Every
Kansas
time.
was just like,
Mhm.
let them
Go
shoot.
ahead. Go
Let
ahead.
him beat you from three. And I think that worked really well. And then Milan, of course, was getting, pretty much face guarded for the most part. And he
Correct.
really did only get loose, Bez, for those two
Yeah.
deep threes there. And, both times I'm sitting by Daniel at Rock Chalk Sports Talk, the A10 Kansas Nation thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's like literally the only guy you can't let that happen with. And I think Kansas kind of realized that and really packed it in against Iowa State and made it hard. And then, Jefferson was having to finish over Tiller and Flory.
Yeah.
And Tiller and Flory were not having any of that in this game. I don't know the exact block totals. Let's see. Yeah, Flory had four, and Tiller only had one, but I feel like Tiller affected a lot more shots. And Kansas block percentage has now gone all the way up to number three in the country
Ooh.
after that game. So credit to the defense. That the defense was absolutely huge. And another guy I'll let you kind of lead with, and I wanted to talk about Bez is Trey White because gosh dang,
Yeah, man.
he's shooting like 46% from three right now.
It's just it's it seems like every portal guy Kansas has gotten, the opposite has happened, where
Yeah.
they come in from 46% and then leave us at 32%. So it's finally nice to have it go the other way. And I think Bill would be lying to you if he said this was, best case scenario for Trey White. I don't think this was in his head for that. I do not think so. Not to mention, obviously, us, the average fan. There were Iowa State people being like, "Who the heck is this Trey White guy?" I'm like, "All right, that's a little much. He's been pretty good this year. Let's relax a little bit on that." But he, he's just so solid, man. He's just so solid. You never want to have him off the floor. Every time he's off the floor, I feel like we drop a level on both ends. I feel like, Melvin is kind of the rah-rah guy of this team. I've said it before. Trey White is this like he's like team dad.
He's a
He's
pro.
the
He's a
guy.
pro, Bez
He's
is
a
what he
pro.
is.
That's the exact way to put it, Sam. He's a pro's pro. Like he just handles his business. The guys follow his lead. He's super engaged with every single one of his teammates. It's just been really, really impressive to see what he's been able to do. Obviously, the shot making's great. Nobody really expected that at the volume it's been happening, not the percentage, the volume of it,
Yeah.
Sam. He's taken four a game and he's hitting almost 50%. That's pretty crazy for a guy coming in who, and he's not really a catch and shoot guy. Liar. Yes, he is. This guy can't miss off the catch and shoot. It's
It's because he's wide open too most of the time. I mean, with
other thing.
Melvin and Darren getting downhill the way they are.
Everybody's got to adjust their scout on that. Everybody's got to readjust the scout because you can't leave him open anymore.
And you know, I was watching the game. I'm like, this isn't a Kansas basketball game right now. And then finally Trey White baits somebody into a foul. And I'm like, okay, yes,
There
here
it
we are.
is.
We're
Yeah.
back. Okay, everything's good. I know it was a 20-point game, but it really wasn't a Kansas game this season until Trey White draws somebody into an absolutely bonkers foul. All right, let's talk about Darren Peterson, Bez, because I think Darren Peterson probably had his worst game of the season in terms of his production whenever he's out there for a quote unquote full game. Uh, obviously still didn't make it to the final buzzer in this one, but he didn't need to. Defensively, thought Darren was really good with the two steals and the block, but 6 of 15 from the field, 2 of 7 from three, only 16 points. But Bez, Kansas played its best game of the season. With that being the case, with Darren Peterson playing a C game, and it's because everybody, for the first time, like you're thinking about the Vegas trip, right? And how Kansas looked coming out of there. You're like, oh, you just plug Darren Peterson in there and boom, chop chop, good to go, elite team. It,
Right.
it didn't exactly work out like that,
Right.
to start. But for the first time, I think Kansas played like they did in the players era with Darren Peterson on the court as well. And Bill Self even mentioned so post game. How cool is that to see, Bez?
It's great, man. It just kind of eases the whole fan base a little bit, I think. Definitely eases everybody in that locker room of, okay, not only can we all play well together, all 15 of us, we're all here, we're all healthy, we're playing together, we're playing well. But it's also nice that, Darren can not be at an A plus. Because honestly, Sam, I'm thinking about this when I'm watching. I'm like, he hasn't had one yet. He's been absolutely money every single time he's been able to play. Every single time he's been unbelievable. And, last night there's a lot of transition, when you're guarding really well, you're getting rebounds, you're getting leak outs. So that's kind of how Kansas is able to get up 20 while Peterson has 6, because some people might look at that and say, how do they have this lead? He's only got 6 points. Well, Torrey did a nice job on him. Just a freak athlete. I love that kid. I got to get to a game in person here because I just want to watch him
Corey's
work.
he is so awesome, Bez.
Specimen, man. Just specimen. But so that's obviously a tough matchup. But Kansas is getting easy points in transition, easy kickouts because of the Peterson gravity. And it's not even like that he had a bad game. He still got his looks. He just didn't convert. He missed a couple bunnies at the rim that he normally would make. Couldn't hit a three. He'll have games like that. He had games like that in high school. It'll happen every once in a while, but so basically, what I'm saying is, I don't think he played bad. He still got his looks. He still got open shots. He just didn't hit. So he didn't play great. Those shots are going to go in more often than not.
I don't think he played bad, Bez, but he didn't play anywhere near like he did play a
It's
C game. He played a C
C
game.
game, man. C game. Like if that's your C game and everybody else around you is going to play like that, cool. Good luck, everybody.
I'm waiting for the 40-point game. It's got to come. It's
It's
got to
coming.
come soon. Like
Basketball is so easy for this human. It is. I mean, it's
what
he
stood
doesn't
out to
sweat,
me.
bro. He doesn't sweat. He
Yeah.
just gets to the rim and scores and just he didn't even try. Obviously he's trying, but there's moves he makes. I'm like, that was really easy. And this is a Big 12, 6'8", 220 freak athlete guarding him. Like he's so good, dude.
First off, when Melvin and Darren are playing, off of each other like that. Like I seriously
Fun.
don't think there's a backcourt in the entire country that can match up with those two. I think Iowa State with Torrey and Lipsey are probably the best team that can match up with those two guys. And Melvin got downhill whenever he wanted uh,
Hmm.
for most of the game.
Great in the second half.
And Peterson is Darren Peterson. So look out
Let
with
me
those
hit you
guys
with this,
playing.
Sam. Let me hit
Yeah.
you with this. Athletically speaking, going from Dewan Harris and Zeke Mayo to Melvin Council Jr. and Darren Peterson as your backcourt. That's quite a leap in athleticism you're taking there, bud. That's insane. And it is fun to watch.
And size,
And
like
length and just
yeah, just
physicality.
everything.
Dude, it has been fun
Basketball.
to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
The other thing I wanted to mention with Darren is just his willingness to go and try to throw down a dunk. Haven't seen it this year.
Yeah,
Guys,
no, I agree.
in high school,
Great point.
it was every game. Like he had that classic, he doesn't actually like dunk it, but he goes up with two hands and just kind of lays it in there.
Right.
It's an NBA move. It is what it is. And he has literally not shown the willingness to dunk the basketball until that game.
Twice
Missed
last.
both. Missed
Yeah.
both of them. Not ideal, but the fact that he tried, I think, kind of says a lot. And Peterson, after the game, he did say it probably wasn't capable some other games. I think that's a good sign for me.
Yeah.
He also, uh, just said that he's getting better every day. He says, "quote I'm feeling better. It's coming back slowly to me. I was out for a while, but I feel like I'm feeling better." He mentioned that he actually felt better during the TCU game than this one, and he did have to come out in this game. I think he came out at the 5:45 mark, second half, and this is what Self said. He said, "quote He was closer tonight." And then somebody asked, "Could he have finished the game?" He said, quote, "He told me I can go if you really need me," which tells me no, but was it bad? No, it wasn't bad. He was like, "If you don't need me out there, I'm not moving as good as I was earlier. Let somebody else finish it off." So it wasn't a bad, I'm cramping, I got to come out. It was more like I'm not quite whole right now. Uh, and then Peterson said, if I need to come out, I ask for a sub because I don't want to be a sore thumb out there. So when I need to come out, I ask for it. But when I'm out there, I'm trying to help the team. Anything you can take away from that, Bez?
Positive signs. It doesn't seem like it's a bad thing right now. And I really don't have a huge problem with that. And I don't think it'll last too much longer. I mean, a lot of this is just the general strength, that he's used to having in himself and the bounce that he's used to having in himself to where you take an injury like this, it takes some time, obviously, to get back to 100% healthy, but it also takes some time to just feel a little bit better, right? Like, so to your point, super positive sign to see those dunk attempts. Both of them would have been ridiculous if he finished
That
either
the
one.
first the
The
first
first one would have
one,
ripped that place
God
open.
dang.
Roof would have came off. I mean, that was anyway. It's so for me, I'm like, okay, it's now in his head that he's back,
Yeah.
right? We've seen him be back. He's been back for a couple of games, but like you said, man, we haven't really got to see that yet. The injuries kind of robbed us of the posterizing aspect of DP's game. So now that he's at least trying it again is really, really positive. I think he's just gonna each week, man, he's just going to get a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer, as long as there's no major setbacks. And, come mid-February, I think he's 35 minutes a game and playing through the whistle. And I don't think we'll have to worry about it anymore. So for now, if he feels like, hey, and I don't have a problem with that. Hey, coach, 10 minutes ago, I was good. I'm a little not as quick right now. Probably come get me. Jamari looks fresh, so probably get some run in for him, who played great on Tuesday, by the way. Love that
Hey,
for
that's
him.
our next topic, Bez.
Oh, let's get it.
You
Let's
just
get
gave
into
me
it.
the
The
perfect
Jamari
segue.
Marco boys.
First of all, did you see what Candace basketball posted yesterday? The Jamarco,
Yeah, I did.
the Joe. Now I gotta pull it up. It was Jelmarco McJackson. Jamarco
That
McJackson.
would be a really good player. Give me that
Yeah.
guy.
No, that would
That
be.
guy would be awesome.
That would be an awesome shirt. I would buy that shirt, the Jamarco McJackson shirt. Make it happen, Kansas
Exactly.
Athletics. But uh, Bill Self I think sent a very clear message to his team in this game. This rotation's down to seven. It's down to seven. And Rosario, uh, you know, tried so gosh darn hard.
Did.
Rosario's not going to be a part of this rotation. He's not ready. He's not ready. He's going to be a
Okay.
hell of a player next year.
Yes, he
He's
is.
not ready. Uh, Not that he ever really was part of the rotation, but Jaden Dawson, I'm sorry, you're not in the rotation.
Didn't click.
Paul and Baya,
Never thought he would be.
unless Flory Patunga and Bryson Tiller and Trey White are in foul trouble. I'm sorry, Paul and Baya, you are out of the rotation. And then, of course, Samus or Samis, and Gala. It's set as seven guys, and I think this is positive. And Bill Self even mentioned this after the game for a number of reasons. One, it just helps with role definition even
Mhm.
more, and two, those guys know what they have to bring every night in terms of physicality, and they know how many minutes they're going to play. I think in this one, yeah, Jamari had 24, El Marco had 21, and then everybody else, of course, filled in the rest from the starting five. I like it. I like it. I think we're set. We got this thing figured out. You can use, Rosario and Mbaya and Samis spot minutes in Big 12 play. But a game like Iowa State, that rotation's cut down to seven. And Jamari is playing amazing. He had 6 assists, no turnovers in this game, Bez. 6 assists, no
Top
turnovers. Was just driving it baseline,
line.
spraying it out.
Back middle.
Also, like he does, hit a couple threes. I think Jamari is probably the best shooter on the team right now, besides Trey, which
You
is
say that already. You
kind of
really
crazy to
can
think
though.
about.
No, they
And
can.
Darren, of course, I don't even count Darren in this because he's Darren Peterson, but.
Yeah.
Uh, Jamari's been awesome. And then Marco Jackson makes the hustle play of the year, Bez. As a coach, how awesome was it to see something like that? And can you maybe just describe the play a little bit for those who might not know what we're talking about?
Well, here's the reason I loved it because it started with his mistake, right? And it's so hard to get your players to, the world's not going to end because you missed a three, right? Especially at a young age. The world's not going to end because you threw the ball out of bounds. Am I pissed off and I'm going to yell at you? Yes, but it's my job to hold you accountable. But you yourself can't just completely fold. And I honestly think even going back to his freshman year, Marco had a little bit of that. He's a freshman who was not a super experienced basketball player. So he would have tendency to make a mistake and it would hurt him. It would hurt him mentally. He wouldn't take a shot for 10, 12 minutes at a time because he was thinking about the last one he missed. That's a tough spot to be in as a player. So he turns the ball over and he's about to sprint his butt back defensively because he knows he needs to get back down there and guard defensive transition. Ball ends up on the floor. He dives, I mean, head first, like a baseball player sliding head first into second base, and dives on the floor, rolls on his back, which is very smart because if your back is sliding while you're diving for a loose ball, the refs can't call that a travel, even though all the dumb Iowa State parents sitting behind the bench were all screaming up, asking for a travel. It's not a travel. Kicks the ball up. I mean, it just, the point of that was Iowa State had cut it to six, I think, or 7 or 6. So they get that steal, get a run out in transition. All of a sudden, it's a 4 or 5 point game. Doesn't feel like it once did. Instead, Marco gets on the floor, kicks the ball ahead. I think it was Trey who
I
hit a
think
three.
Trey hit a three.
I think
Yeah.
it was Trey who hit the three. All of a sudden, that goes from, ooh, they just cut it to 4 to, okay, we're back to double digits. I mean, it's that, and it's all because he got his butt on the floor. Like perfect, like diving on the floor technique. I know that's kind of weird to say, but it really was. Like,
Well,
yeah,
to
cradle
me,
it,
Betsy was just
roll
like
it back.
I'm getting this ball back. I don't care. He was just like
He was
it
pissed
was just
off.
like an instinct. Like I'm
He
pissed
was.
off. I'm going and getting the ball. I don't care what's in my way. I'm just gonna go get it.
And
And
he's got
that's
the
what he
great
did.
mentality right now of like, hey, if I break my nose, guess what? Who cares? I'm already fighting for every single minute I get anyway. I might as well go all the way. Might as well. I mean, there's going to be games I don't get minutes. If I have a broken nose, I'm not going to get minutes anyway. Man, I might as well go for it because if I do get it, I'm getting 30. That's what he's thinking. And I love that.
Bill Self called it the play of the year, and Jay Billis even tweeted about it and said it was the hustle play of the year that he's seen so far. So props to El Marco, props to Jamari for just bringing it off the bench lately, just every
Excellent.
single night, just absolutely bringing it. Those guys have been huge, and I think it's maybe a little understated that those guys are
Right.
program guys, and I
Rare
think
now.
that does have a big effect on this team. The couple other things to bring up, Bez, before we discuss what is Kansas ceiling and kind of talk about the national landscape a bit at the under four. Kansas had a players only meeting before
Mhm.
this game, Trey White said. So, obviously something grinded their gears at West Virginia. They all got together, they all figured it out. And, Self joked after the game, and I'm going to make the same joke now. I hope they have a players only meeting before every big game because if that's going to be the result, gosh dang, let's do it every time. Another thing I want to bring up is I saw this tweet from Logan Adams yesterday. Very interesting stuff here.
Yep. Saw it as
He
well.
says there have been three 6'10 plus freshmen drafted with a 6% block percentage or better, 5% offensive rebounding percentage or better, 25 dunks, and then four 3-point
I
attempts
think
out of 100 or
it's
more.
I
I
think
think,
it's 4 3-pointers a game, and you've taken 100 or more total. So I
yes,
don't think you've taken that many.
yes, that is probably right. Thanks, Bez. I cannot read, apparently. The players that have hit this and have been drafted: Chet Holmgren, Jaren Jackson, and Jonathan Isaac. Besides Jonathan Isaac, that's two all-star caliber players. Bryson Tiller is currently on pace or is meeting all of those criteria right now.
Yeah. Yep. And
And
if he might literally be Jaren Jackson Jr. That's pretty funny that I'm not saying
and
that.
and the start the Flory and Tiller set the tone to start the Iowa State game. I think it was eight straight
Absolutely. Yeah.
right in the paint to start the game. I mean,
First
that
score
set the
from
tone right
Bryson, second
away.
score from Glory. Yep.
Bryson bounced back in this game. I mean, we've kind of been dogging on him on this podcast. Bryson bounced back. It was cool to see that. The last thing before we get into the under four that I just thought was absolutely hilarious, the Iowa State Twitter admin Bez
Hmm.
during the game, they did not tweet at all, at all. They had the first five graphic, and then they dropped the final score. No, not even the graphic
Not
final
not a
score.
clip, not a highlight,
Not a
nothing.
clip, not a highlight, nothing. Here's our starting five. Final KU. 84, Iowa State,
What much
63
talk about?
billion comments, of course. So that was hilarious.
Talk about.
All right, y'all. We're gonna go to a quick break. Whenever we come back, we're gonna talk just a little bit on kind of the national landscape, where we think Kansas fits in, and then we'll discuss Baylor very briefly with that game coming tomorrow. Stay with us, y'all.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hum, a Kansas Hoops podcast via the Field of 68. Sam Lentz here with Jackson Bezdek. Bez, I want to talk about what we think Kansas's ceiling is now. Obviously, Iowa State, national title contender. coming in. I still think Iowa State is one of those teams, maybe not in my mind a national title contender, but certainly a Final Four contender. College basketball this year, I think, is very interesting, Bez. And I mentioned this on radio yesterday, A10 radio. I think last year it was very clear, Auburn was doing what they were doing. Duke was just absolutely loaded. Houston was Houston. Uh, who's the
Florida.
other one seed? Florida. Florida wasn't really
Big
Florida
one,
until the end of the year, but
right?
it was very clear.
Everybody saw it happening. Yeah.
It was very clear that Florida was damn good.
Yeah.
At this point last season, I think you could maybe make a case for like, five or six teams that were like, okay, this team can make a national title run. I legitimately think, Bez, there are maybe 15 teams
I
who
totally
could
agree.
not only win it, make the Final Four. I mean, there's so many teams out there that could do it. Arkansas and Texas Tech are 23-24 on KenPom right now. I don't want to play either of those teams. Are you
Nope.
kidding me? Are you
Nope.
kidding me? You got Alabama who hasn't, they've been banged up all year. They're not as strong. Michigan, Arizona, Purdue, Houston, Gonzaga, Connecticut, Florida. All these teams are wagons, Bez. I didn't even mention Illinois, Iowa State, who I
Yep.
think is really good. BYU
Yep.
is sitting here at 16-1. It feels like nobody's talking about them. They have three of the best players in the country. Nebraska ball might never lose again.
They might not. They might win forever.
Like Virginia is darn good. St. John's was top five preseason. They're still trying to figure things out. I mean, my gosh, I really think this year, Bez, is wide open, and there's no reason to me why Kansas, especially after this Iowa State game, with the best player on the court every single game, there is no reason why Kansas can't win six in a row. There's no reason why they can't. And I do think it is harder this year to win the Big 12 than it is probably to win six in a row in March Madness. I don't even think that's that crazy of a statement.
Might not be. It might not be. I mean, to your point with that, I think the way Kansas is constructed with their 7 guys now, right? That's not enough to compete in the Big 12 over the course of 2.5 months of a season where you're pretty much going with 7 guys and then you're 8 and 9. You don't really fully trust. So I do not think Kansas wins the Big 12. Very
And
sadly,
I, and I don't think that needs to be something we're
I
worried
don't.
about.
To your point, I don't think it needs to be the goal, right? Back in the day, it was always Bill's goal to win the conference because first of all, there were 12 teams in the Big 12, which is mind blowing to some. I know it's crazy how we used to do things, just super simple and made sense. All the teams were in the Midwest. It was wild. It was a wild time, but it was, you didn't know who you were until you could go through that 18 game stretch of playing the same teams twice, right? And not just that, but the conference, not only was it a little more watered down, college basketball was a little more watered down. I mean, you can talk all you want about how the portal sucks, how NIL sucks.
College basketball's talent pool has never been better than right now.
Actual product on the floor. This is what I tell people around here. Like, you complain about the portal all you want. Complain about how it's different teams every single year. The actual product on the floor is at the highest level it has ever been. The game has grown to a point to where Miami of Ohio is now 18-0, and nobody cares because they haven't played anybody. But if you watch them, they have freaking dudes on their team. They are good. They can make stuff happen in March. And like you're saying about, I don't want to play X, Y, and Z. Dude, nobody wants to play Kansas. Nobody. Nobody wants to guard a 100% healthy Darren Peterson with Trey White in the corner and Melvin Council barking in your face and Flory dunking on your head and Bryson running around with his 9-foot wingspan that he has. Nobody wants to play that team. So yes, there is a outside chance Kansas can rip off 6 in a row and win a national championship. There's a better chance they can rip off 4 in a row and get to a Final Four. All of it's going to depend on matchups, seeding, injuries, who's healthy. All of it's going to matter, obviously, when we get to March. But just at surface value, can this team potentially win 6 games in a row. You can kind of see it now. I'm not super bought in on it yet. I need to see it more games.
Ah, come on, Bez.
It's not a look, it's not a fluke. Tuesday night's not
I'm
a
just
fluke,
joking. I'm joking.
but it's not a fluke, but I would like to see it more than once, right? And you know
I
what?
would like to see it on the road, Bez, because
Yeah.
besides the
And
NC
with
State
Barron
game,
playing an A game, not a C game, right?
yeah. If you look at the away games this year, lost to North Carolina, took overtime to beat NC State,
Mm-hmm.
and then you lose to UCF, you lose to West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see it on the road here.
100%.
And Kansas has, you got Colorado, Kansas State coming up this month. And then in February, you got at Texas Tech, at Iowa State, and at Oklahoma State, and then at Arizona to end February. So it's not going to be easy. Real quick, Bez, I want to talk Baylor a little bit here. The Bears, they were averaging like 59.5 points their first 3 games of Big 12 play. And then last night, they just absolutely put up, 94 on Oklahoma State
Mm-hmm.
and completely dominated Oklahoma State. And I thought this was a game where Oklahoma State could,
I did too.
hold serve at home and kind of get a big win, but they didn't. Uh, Things to know about Baylor. They got 2 guys who could be drafted in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And Cameron Carr, he's a really explosive wing. And then Tunde Yasufu, uh, also just an absolute junkyard dog freshman, who came into the season projected kind of in that top 10 of the draft. He slid a bit, but he's still a hell of a player, and he's been
Not his
playing.
fault. The other
Yeah,
freshmen are
yeah,
freaks.
yes, yes, literally, yeah. So Baylor's got an interesting group, and then of course they have the James Najee guy that everybody freaked out about, who's literally averaging like 2 points and,
He doesn't
and
play.
5 rebounds maybe. So I think Kansas's advantage is going to be in that front court
Yeah,
against
absolutely.
Baylor.
Absolutely.
And this is also a team that I think if you want to shut the water off on them, Kansas could play a very intense defensive game and do that against this Baylor team. I mean, they put up 63 against TCU, 60 against Iowa State, 55 against Houston. I think if Kansas holds them to under 65, Kansas wins this game pretty easily. So that's all I have on Baylor. The last thing I wanted to mention before we end today, Mario Chalmers. He's going back to school to
Hey, my
finish his
boy. One
degree.
five.
Bez, congratulations to Mario Chalmers, and good luck. Because
Get
I
him a
took 5
jersey.
years. I took 5 years to get my degree, and I assume this would be Mario's fourth year. So if he gets it done, that's better than me. That's better than me, man.
Hey man, a lot of guys go to college for 7 years.
Well, all right, everybody. That's all we have today. Thanks for dealing with me and my super deep voice today. Haven't been feeling the best lately, and the weather has decided to go from golfing weather 50 degrees to
Right.
20 degrees, and it's not helping. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for watching. We will see you guys sometime after Baylor.